Yo, what's good out there, everybody, man? Welcome back once again to the Cook Up with Marcus Swole Legend. Once again, I have another talented guest in the building. She goes by the artist name of Lucy Vivor, all the way out of the UK, way in the United Kingdom. So, Lucy, so tell everybody out there what's up and what's going on with you. What type of music are you into as an artist, and what are you trying to develop for yourself?
Okay, so what I'm into mainly is rap music, but then again, all genre of music. I love anything with a beat or that's got a flow, a vibe, a good vibe. I like that. Um, it does help with my struggles through life as well. So it's part of my life. Always kind of has been part of my life.
Okay.
So yeah, it's always been there. I just write all the time pretty much, and I do sometimes make my own beats. Otherwise, I've got people that I like to kind of jump on, and I like to meet new people doing collaborations and that. I've just finished a new collaboration with a guy from Chile, actually. So he's just finishing that track up. I've spent the whole day today doing a music video to one of my tracks that I got professionally sound mastered by one of my good friends that I worked in the studio with all the time.
Okay.
And that's now up on my music page, Lucy Vivor page. So go have a look at that. It's called Inner Demons. It's just basically about struggling with those little niggling voices within you and how you can like overcome it. You just got to
Mhm.
be strong. So
Okay. Sounds interesting. I would love to hear some of your music. Where can I find it? Your music besides your Facebook Lucy Vivor page.
I've
Um.
got a YouTube channel. I've recently changed the name from that because, believe it or not, my previous name was feminine, but that was mainly because someone was kind of taking the mickey out of me, and so I kind of used that name and was like, "Well, you're going to see it everywhere, then," kind of thing. But then I kind of thought, okay, that's a bit close to Eminem. I don't want anyone to think that I think I'm anywhere near that level. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
as an artist, everyone's individual. Everyone has their own style, and I don't copy no one's style. I've got my own style, and that so I changed my name. I says, well, I'm a survivor. I've been through hell and back. I suffer with conditions that I need to fight every day that people can't see. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where the survivor bit came in, and then obviously I used my middle name because I'm adopted in that, but my middle name was my birth name. But
Mm-hmm.
so I've used that as a Lucy and the Vivor as survivor. So cut out
Okay.
the S and the U and the R, and you got Lucy Vivor. So
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of how I came up with my name. I kind of merged two names together and created a whole new word. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I get it, and I feel you when you say having your own style. I'm kind of the same way, I got my own style of making beats and producing. So like I totally get where you're coming from with that. So like what do you have any plans of doing in future projects or
oh,
anything interesting
yeah,
coming up?
yeah. I've got loads lined up, man. Like loads. I mean, I get PMs all the time going, "Yo, you want to jump on a track?" And I don't turn anything down, so it's piling up. But I will get round to every single one of them. I've
Okay.
got sent beats and things. And I've just found out one of my relations actually sings as well, so I'll be collaborating with them as well. So a bit of getting the family involved in it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I've got loads of products. What's it? Products.
Projects.
Cream. Here's my cream. No, I ain't got products. I've got projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
me on my end, I actually have some projects I'm working on too. I actually have to go to a meeting tomorrow morning with the management of the studio that I work at. So
no.
it's gonna be some good things coming up here later on this summer. I got to get with the group. As you see behind me, that's the company that I work for. It's called Bigger Boy Records, and
Nice.
him and his partner, they sponsor a lot of the stuff that I do, on here. So like we have a pretty good situation going on up here in Philadelphia. So um,
Awesome.
mhm, yeah. So I would love to do a track with you because I was listening to some of your freestyles the other
Yeah.
day when we started talking. So I'll send you some tracks out there to the UK. You
Yeah,
see
man,
them?
that'd be brilliant. Work with you. Get some songs out there in Philly. I've actually got my godparents live in Philadelphia as well, so shout out to
Hmm.
them. Yeah.
What part of where they live at in Philadelphia?
Oh, now you're asking. I'm absolutely crap with my geography. I wouldn't know. I'd have to pass. I'll have to pass on
Yeah.
that one. I'm afraid. I'm not too sure where in Philly, but I know it's a big place here. I keep
Hmm.
thinking every place that I know is so small, and it's like not though. So,
Yeah, yeah, I feel you.
but
So, where's your location in the UK? Like, if you don't
um,
mind.
well, at the moment I'm in Cambridge. I normally live in Scotland with my birth family. Big shout to them,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all my friends up there too. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm living at the moment with my mum and dad and my pet dog, who's actually on the bed there snoring away. Yeah, because I'm down here for an operation because of the condition that I've got. It kind of produced cysts and tumours, and I've gone blind in my left eye and had a brain tumour taken out.
Mm,
So I get kind of checkups all the time at hospital. So I'm down for another operation. So I've had to self isolate for 2 weeks. I've got one
mm,
week left, well, just under 1 week left. So
hmm.
I've got better use of my time then to collaborate with new peeps, have new experiences with like yourself and that. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, just keeping my mind preoccupied off of what could happen, what couldn't happen. So
Yeah, that's the best thing to do is just keep yourself prayed up. Stay spiritual. Stay focused. Don't worry about the ailment. Just try to push through that. All
that's
right, to hear that you're going through that, I just hope that you progress and continue to blossom and be a successful artist. That you're trying to be. So, um,
thank you,
your
mate.
best of luck to that. And I'll be in touch with you to see what your progress is like with that. So,
Yeah,
so it's good to see that you're strong and trying to push forward and do what you need to do. So, you
yeah.
know,
Plus,
yeah.
it's an excuse to have a chicken royale from Burger King, isn't it? Sort of
Hmm.
all the nurses there, man. They like make them laugh and that. So by saying I want a bit of Burger King and stuff, so I think that'll be shut now though because of all this lockdown here. But that's another good way that we
Yeah.
isn't
That,
it? So you connect with people and lockdown and
right, right, right. So I meant to ask you, how is the coronavirus situation treating you guys over there in the UK? Is it how
um,
is
there's a lot of rules put in place, like you have to line up out of shops. I mean, I think in some places today, some pubs have opened, so we'll probably like soon see on the news how chaotic that's been, because
uh
obviously probably everyone's been bouncing to them. Um, so, and obviously, alcohol and rules don't really kind of mix sometimes, you know.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, where I am in this little village, there's like you have to keep 2 meters away. You have to follow the arrows. They've got the cleaning stuff outside the stores, so you kind of walk up and then you wipe your hands or use that gel and stuff before you go in. Uh,
Right.
you can you I think well a lot of people do wear masks, but I don't think it's mandatory. Like I don't think you have to, but I think a lot of people do just to cancel the risk anyway.
Okay.
Gloves as well. But in the hospital, that's all strict as well. I mean, normally my mum or my dad would be there with me during operations and during the procedures and that. Well, not actually in the operation theatre, but up to it and that. But now no one's allowed in with you. You've kind of got to go in by yourself and out by yourself, kind of thing. Uh,
Yeah.
and 2 weeks isolation beforehand to make sure you don't. And I think it's about in 3 days, I've got to go and have my swabs to make sure I don't have it. So that's going to be
Hmm.
an interesting experience. Anyway, I might go live while I do that to show everyone what it's like. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, so
Yeah, it's pretty much the same look over here in Philly. You have to certain places they only let maybe one or two people go in at a time, and then you might have another store that might let only 50 people in at a time. 6 foot distance each other, stuff like that. Wear masks. I just recently came back from my home state. I went down there on vacation. I'm originally from South Carolina, but
ah,
I live up here in Pennsylvania right now.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah. So it was a kind of a different situation, different with them down there. They're not really wearing masks. They're not really following the rules. It's just like everybody just pretty much doing what they want. So it was kind of like a shock to me because I've been up here so long dealing with how they got it going up here. Then I go home and it's like they don't realize something is going on out here. They're just doing what they want. So it was like, wow, you
mm,
know. And even when I got back up here, I got asked a bunch of questions. did I fly down there or did I drive? Which I actually did drive. I drove 10 hours down.
Mm.
And if I had a flown down, I would have had to quarantine for 2 weeks before I can start back moving around and doing what I do. But
Yeah,
luckily, I drove down this time. I went with my gut. So yeah,
that's
it's
it.
crazy. Yeah,
Maybe your car is mostly right, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. I remember seeing the news. I think it was like a couple of days ago. Obviously, we had a heat wave down there for
Hmm.
about 2 days, and during that
Yeah.
heat wave, I think it was 500,000 people were found on one beach. So I think
Hmm.
a lot of people had the same idea. Then, do you know what I mean? But I guess some people think it's not as dangerous as what it kind of is, or
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I've got my opinions on it. Everyone's got their opinions on it. Do you know what I mean? So, but I mean, a lot of things aren't really making sense to me. It's like, the death toll is rising with it. Yet they're opening a lot of places that you have to keep
Yeah.
2 meters now. How
Yeah.
do you keep 2 meters in a pub when you're drunk? That's what I want to know. Do you know what I mean? I certainly would, and I'd be like hyper and be dancing around, but and I'd forget. I know I would, because I get a bit ditzy when I'm on the drink. You see, a bit
I
leery.
understand.
So.
Yeah, it was like that too. Like a particular hotspot, Florida. They tried to open up all the pubs and bars, clubs and stuff back up down there, but they had to shut it right back down because the numbers went through the roof as soon as they did it. Because a lot of young people are starting to mingle and go out and have do their little vacations and stuff, and they're transmitting it to each other, and then it affects people who are ill or very old or have some kind of underlying condition. So
Mm,
so that's what the danger of it is. And, someone who's healthy and young, it don't really bother them, or so they say. But then they can transmit it to a family member or a friend, and it kills them. See,
mm.
so yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that's when the
mm,
heartache and everything kicks in, the seriosity of it, isn't it? But then it kicks in when it's a little too late, unfortunately, sometimes, you know?
right,
So,
right, yeah. So we just got to be careful because like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on, but everybody's just been moving kind of like behind the scenes and moving a little slow. So but it's starting to pick back up with what I'm doing out here. So
that's good.
Um, yeah, so I'm fixing to release a lot of music after we have this meeting tomorrow. Like I said earlier in the conversation, we're gonna start putting out some new stuff on all social media platforms and music media platforms. So
Brilliant.
it's gonna be a great situation that I'm fixing to do. So
Awesome.
um,
Yeah, keep my eye out for that, and
yeah, I got you.
be
I
on the
got
chat. That'd be good, man. Yeah.
you. It's gonna be good. It's definitely gonna be good.
Yeah.
So any questions you got for me? While
Uh,
we in between.
yeah, I've got a couple of questions actually. Like, see, with your kind of record label that you work with,
Mhm.
how do you come across that? How did you get to like where you are, kind of thing?
How I ended up with this record label that I'm on, I actually, when I started doing podcasts,
Mm,
I had a real big podcast situation last year, and I had the guy who owns the company as a guest on my podcast, and back then, he was actually trying to get me to do some stuff, um, with them back then. So, but I kind of was reluctant because I was in the middle of some other stuff that I had going on. I was working with another situation called Global Tunes Radio, and also they was um trying to sell my beats and stuff for me too. So it was like two different situations don't mix. So I had to wait for one situation to kind of slide, calm down or go away in order to
mm,
get into another situation. So this year I'm with this label right here. I've been been around a few places doing a few things. So trying out to see what's the best fit for me and my brand. So sometimes you have to do that. Don't fully commit to something unless you you're totally sure that's what you want to be into. So
that's
that yeah, so that's why I kind of been like an independent producer for so long because I want to make sure if I do sign on a label or get with a certain company, I want to make sure I'm gonna be with them. I don't want basically I don't want no foolery. Once I commit to you, we in it. We gonna ride the wave. So
brilliant.
um yeah, so we got a couple of questions here. Let me see.
Yeah, sure.
Someone asked a question. He said, "What they do?" Question for you. I plan to travel to New York. how was you able to come home and not quarantine? Well, Elder Patrick, Patrick, the best way to travel to New York is to drive, because if you get on an airplane, they're gonna make you quarantine. There's something about the airplanes. If you get on the airplane with a bunch of people that you don't know, they're looking at it as a possibility you could contract it. But it's best to travel somewhere by yourself in your car or with family. If you're going off somewhere long distance, that's the best advice I can give you with that on the coronavirus.
You got your trains up there and that, because I travelled from Scotland to Cambridge on the train, but it is mandatory to wear a mask. You have to, otherwise you get fined like £100, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely you must wear a mask now. But I mean, you don't have to quarantine when you arrive or anything off the train. But like you said, with flying, it's a different story.
Yeah, because like over here, it's like certain parts of the country are more strict than others. Like I said, I'm from down south, but I'm up north. You can't go in a store without having a mask on. You can't buy anything without having a mask on. And like down south back home, only the people who work in the store have on masks, but the customers don't have on masks, and they're still allowed to buy. See, that's what's so crazy about it. If they're gonna force something, everybody should follow the same rules, not every people making up what they want to make up as they go. That's what I see. So yeah, that's what it looked like to me. But hopefully it'll get better.
It will find its way out someday, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna die down eventually, just like all these other germs, the flu, Ebola, and all this other stuff, SARS, H1N1. You remember all that? Same thing.
I remember the Ebola and things like that, but I don't remember the H1 and that. But
H1, you don't remember H1N1?
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one was a pretty heavy one once upon a time. So, but yeah. Anything else you want to tell me that's in the teapot right now?
I can't think of anything that's brewing right now, no. but just a lot of projects on the go. Got my garage band that I'm working on. So that's my new music kind of maker that I use quite a lot. Got my way around it and that, and then I've got a TikTok channel if anyone wants to tune into that. When I'm on my daft ones, I kind of just do daft videos and make myself laugh. Got to keep the amusement up here, so that's under Lucy Vivor as well. So
okay. Well, it's been good having you on my show, and I'm gonna answer one other question. Let me see. Thanks, appreciate you. Here in Miami, we have to wear face mask protection. You're welcome, Elder. Yeah, we have to wear face mask protection up here too. And I also appreciate all your support that you've been doing for me behind the scenes on social media and everything else I've been doing. But with that being said, this was the Cook Up with Marcus Swole Legend. And I look forward to doing a follow-up interview with you too. You got it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you definitely. I'm gonna check in on you to see what your progress like over there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for having me, man.
All right. And until next time, we up out of here.
See you later, guys.
All right.
Catch you later.